Hi, hello. Thank you so much for clicking on my channel. I am Catie Brannon. This is Tea Time True Crime with Catie, where we talk about all things true crime. Tonight's story is not really a true crime, but it really is a crime. How many people don't even know about this? Yes, this is the type of podcast where it is a trigger warning because I am talking about sensitive information, but it's also the type of podcast to really bring awareness to issues that we probably don't even are aware of. I think only a very small portion of people know about this. Yeah. Well, people know. No, actually, they don't. When I try to research this, first off, thank you so much. I give a shout out to Brandis on TikTok. If you're not following her, you should definitely follow her. She gave me the actual story suggestion. And when I tell you guys, I was so upset. I went through a rabbit hole. So before we get started, I'm going to show you a title page just for good energy. And then I have a shout out for a company. And then I will talk about what everyone needs to know and why something needs to change. Next time you hear the doorbell ring, next time you hear somebody sing, you are the world's most perfect girl. Good morning, good evening, good all the things. Thank you so much for watching the title page. It's just fur babies, positive energy, and I'm going to do a shout out right now for a small business company. They also have their own Etsy page and Instagram. I'm going to shout out Garden Party. Isn't that cute? Yes. This queen, her name is Amaya. I met her at a networking event. Very sweet person. She creates little flower pots from teacups. Yes, she gets old teacups and she puts art on them and designs them in different kind of ways. She also is like, if you love plants and tea, which sign me up, y'all. I would have this place full of plants, but my cats love to jump into plants, and that's why I am not in a forest right now, even though I would absolutely love to be. Don't get me wrong. But she redoes teacups, okay? And Garden Party, her name is Amaya, and I'm going to have the Instagram handle right here and also in the description below. But I love how she can refurbish and revamp something, like, yes, we all love our tea, honey. I do. But it would be really cool how she does a teacup, but she puts a flower or a plant inside, and it's just like for another purpose. And it totally spreads good vibes. So you guys are not following her, please follow Garden Party Shop. Yep. At gmail.com is her email, but her Instagram is at Garden Party ALLC. Follow her, support small business. I'm excited to get my own soon. Definitely going to make that happen. Perhaps treat myself for my birthday. Yes, I think so. Before we get on to the story, guys, I do have tea, and we have a beautiful message from Yogi. Didn't realize it was Dr. Seuss. My apologies. Okay, I'll stop. Every neighbor can be your teacher. Amen. Right? Absolutely. Amen. Cheers. Oh, yeah. Yes. This is elderberry stress yogi tea. I am stressed. I apologize, you guys. So much stuff is going on. And this story just stressed me out because it was not only horrible, but it was also very preventable. And that is beyond frustrating to me. Yeah. So if you have never heard of Bryce Rayner, you're going to hear about this little boy today. Now, this situation, this horrific circumstance, this accident, whatever you may call it, happened in Rochester, New York, July 2019. Trigger warning. If you are not comfortable with the information about a child being harmed in any way, please click out of this podcast for your mental help. Please know I love you and I care about you, but please just share this podcast because everyone needs to know about it, and perhaps we all can make a change. Bryce Rayner was a cute little boy. He had the sweetest smile and sparkling brown eyes. Isn't he cute? I just want to hold him. He was just a bundle of sunshine. Tenitia Cullum, at the time, was a single mother for all, intensive purposes. She worked very, very hard for her baby. She loved her son so much. She kept him well fed, well provided for, and she worked very hard to take care of Bryce. Now, I don't want to get into her personal background because that is not prevalent to the story, but Bryce does have a father. The relationship did not work out, but I do not know why. It is not known, but I really want to focus on Bryce. Okay, so Tenitia Cullum, she had been working at Tim Hortons. Tim Hortons is like a breakfast kind of pastry place, I assume, in Rochester, New York. I've never been there, but it does sound delicious. Anyway, any single parent out there, I just want to let you know that I applaud you. So right now, Tenitia Cullum is a single parent, and she works at Tim Hortons on the University Avenue for around this time, about 5 months. She actually enjoyed working there as much as anyone would enjoy working in food, I believe. I believe we all work in food for, all kinds of reasons, but the reasons why it's so hard to leave when it's your time to leave, to go on to different opportunities or do something else, is because of the coworkers. Because I feel the more people you work with and see day after day, you kind of begin a relationship with them. Not anything inappropriate, you guys, just like a friendship. So she seemed to get along with her boss and her coworkers, and they totally had the family vibes going on. So she worked a particular job 3 days a week, and sometimes more. It just depends, restaurant business. At that time, she would put Bryce in daycare, and the other time she would find a babysitter, and she would always seem to have someone to look after him. In a hot July, though, before Tenitia went to work, the plans for her baby to be watched by her aunt fell through. Less than an hour she had to be at work. She didn't know what exactly to do. She figured she would upset people if she called out. She may even lose her job. So she decided to call an Uber and get her baby ready and bring the baby to the restaurant. She just didn't want to let anybody down or lose her job. Bryce was actually excited about going with his mom to work, and Tenitia got him dressed with a quote-unquote all-muscle t-shirt over his head with gray shorts and a black and gray Nike sneakers. Okay, you go, Bryce. Well, less than 2 hours after arriving at the restaurant, you guys, Bryce would no longer be on this earth anymore. Yeah. And what's frustrating is this is something that could totally have been prevented. Yes. This is the day of the terrible accident. Tenitia started her shift around 9 a.m. at Tim Hortons on July 15th, 2019. She brought Bryce and set him up at a table near the front counter, which is awesome. I mean, even her boss accommodated her, you guys, so she wouldn't work drive-through, that she would just work out front by the drink station so she could be closer to her son. Now, not throughout the day, But moments later, you had coworkers and probably regular customers go on and say, "Hi, Bryce," just entertain him and make him smile. Tenitia gave him a donut and some apple juice. And she also left her phone so he could watch kid-friendly YouTube videos. Shout out to YouTube. I love you, YouTube. All right. YouTube is life. Just saying. Employees, like I said, were around Bryce, and it was just all the good vibes. Bryce is smiling, he's excited, but he has to go potty. Now, this is around 11 a.m., okay? That is when the morning rush has kind of slowed down. So she thought it would be a great opportunity for when she takes out the trash to take Bryce with her so he can move around and lose some energy a little bit. Because he was just sitting down for a while, and he's only 3 years old, and I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure 3-year-olds don't exactly sit still for very long. As Tenitia grabbed the trash, she opened the door, and Bryce came running forward, really excited. And she's telling him, "Okay, Bryce, come here. Be careful, stay here." Then there was a little bit of grass on the side of the building where she could see him. She goes, "Stay on the grass, honey. Bryce, stay on the grass." So she looked down for just a second, you guys. Just a millisecond. And then she looked back up and Bryce was gone. She said she did not feel his presence anymore. Oh. It happens that quick, you guys. She did not feel him anymore. She turned around and he's not there. But at first she doesn't panic. She's like, "Oh, he's probably on this side of the building." So she goes and runs this side of the building. And then she realizes he's not there. She starts shouting out his name, Bryce, and talking to anybody and saying, "Have you seen a little boy?" With no validation at all, she goes back into the restaurant and tells her employees frantically. Without any hesitation, they went outside, helped her look, and they looked all throughout the restaurant, even the bathrooms a couple times, and they could not find Bryce. Within 6 minutes of the disappearance of Bryce, 911 was called about the disappearance of the child. Before the police came, which was minutes, very, very fast, one of the employees at the restaurant had a morbid sense of self. We all have that, you guys. There's always one person in a restaurant that is a little bit darker than others. She quickly went outside with a broom and went to the grease trap. She noticed that the lid was not bolted. She moved the lid and she got the broom, put it inside the grease trap, and started to go round and round with the broom. Until horribly, with her going round and round, twirling the broom in the putrid muck of grease and oil and fats, a pair of gray shorts rose to the surface. Right here on the screen, you guys, if you are listening, I'm going to put the diagram of the grease trap design. Any restaurant with a commercial kitchen has a grease trap. It is known as like a grease interceptor, and it helps filter the grease, fats, and oils out of restaurants. Every restaurant has a grease trap. Now, it filters out of restaurants' wastewater, preventing clogs in the sanitary sewer system. Now, in small kitchens, traps may be inside the restaurant, near the main sink, or close to the dishwasher. At Tim Hortons, the grease trap was about 10 feet straight outside the back door. The grease trap, you guys, it was actually in a little grassy patch of area right by the parking lot. There was no fence, no warning, which sadly there usually is not about the grease traps and pits, which I feel like there should be warnings, especially people that are not known to restaurants or how they work. Yes, we all need to eat to survive, but tragically, not everyone, you guys, works in restaurants or retail. So even though a huge percentage of us do, there are some people in their lives that never do. So there needs to be more education about grease trap, or at least signage, especially for the big commercial restaurants. All right? So Tenitia must have passed that green plastic cover, never giving it a thought. So not only the grease trap is in the grass, you guys, it has a green cover. What? Shouldn't the green cover be blue or yellow or red? Something like eye-catching? Why is it conspicuous in the grass? Why? Sorry about you guys. I'm going to have some more tea, this stress tea right now. I'm going to take a deep breath. All right. There's a lot of red flags in the story. I'm aware. So, employees actually didn't deal with the grease trap that much. Police records show that it was actually cleaned just a couple days before this horrific accident occurred, and the actual lid was not bolted. Yeah. The work was done by a technician from a grease removal service called Baker Commodities. Sadly, you guys, when a medium animal, in this horrible accident, a child, if a child falls in anything of water, okay, any type of water, I found out, here is a morbid fact. Morbid, and I'm sorry that you have to know this information because I found out about it, so I'm going to share it with you. It takes only 20 seconds for a child to drown. 20 seconds. That's it. Like, by the time Tenitia was running around trying to find her baby, Bryce was already gone. Tragically, emergency services, police, they did CPR, I can never say that word, you guys. A defibrillator, it's for the heart to make sure the heart beats again, but they could not save Bryce's life. It is unclear, you guys, what happened to the original lid. But the replacement lid that was described in the police report as a 24-inch polylock cover, model number 3008-RC, is actually designed to fit properly only on a matching riser made by the same company. 6 stainless steel screws are supposed to hold it in place. But that day, guys, there were no screws on the lid. An unmonitored security camera at a nearby liquor store actually captured the last moments of Bryce's life. He and his mom walked out of the building around 10:49 a.m. Bryce actually runs out towards the menu board, and he turns back to his mother. Tenitia, a second, just turns back toward the building to grab more garbage from the rear. So 1 second later, like I said, guys, a millisecond, Bryce walks over the lid. It flips open, and he slips through the 2-foot hole. The lid actually pivots back into place like a swinging top of a trash can, closing the hole and actually trapping him inside. City plans on Google, guys, it doesn't exactly show the exact dimensions of the trap, but online, as I searched, it shows a 500-gallon grease trap is likely to be at least 5 feet deep. Sorry guys, talking about kids is really hard for me, but I'm doing this for Bryce. I'm doing this for Tenitia because I feel like Tenitia does need justice, even though I'm going to talk about what happened, the aftermath and stuff like that. But straight up guys, $44. Can we say that together? $44 you can purchase on Amazon. It is called the Universal Kid Catcher. It is a round grid of bright yellow plastic. It's designed to fit inside the wide, round pipes called risers that lead from the top of the grease trap or septic tank to ground level. It is a form of secondary protection that comes into play only if the lid is damaged or unsecured. With one of these in place, you guys, it is impossible for a child or even a medium-sized animal, cat, dog, doesn't matter, to actually, it's impossible with the Universal Kid Catcher, this plastic device, if it is inside of a grease trap, you cannot slip inside the grease trap and drown. You cannot slip inside at all in the underground grease trap. Now I'm going to link a video in the description below. A woman actually shows and demonstrates what would have happened if one was in place, and also how Bryce would still be alive today if that Universal Kid Catcher would be there. Now, there are no laws, you guys, to mandate their installation. All right. The company is Polylock Incorporated. It's a Connecticut-based company, and said that these accidents, you guys, actually they happen from time to time. Have you guys ever heard of this? What? Restaurant fam, are you out there? Bear people in real life. The bear people. Like, seriously. Have you heard of this? No. But this company says it does happen from time to time, but nothing changes. Nothing changes. How many more deaths of little kids or even small animals? Because there's people that can't have children, so their animals are their children. How many times does this have to happen before something changes? How many times? And you're going to be like, hold on, Catie, simmer down. No. I also read that the company, instead of charging $44 on Amazon, if the states come together, this is North America. I don't know if Canada has this problem, but I feel like if we have this problem, probably more countries have this problem. I'm not sure though, I could be wrong. But I know many states have grease traps in the ground. I know many states have commercial kitchens and commercial restaurants. I believe the guy, Gavin, I don't know, he's like the president of the company. He said it would only be like $10, $15, maybe $20 would be the cost to put them in each single grease trap to make sure this doesn't happen again. But they said the states won't pay the extra money. Why won't they? Why would they? Really? Really? Why wouldn't you? Why don't you think about your own child? Why don't you think about your own cat and dog? That all of a sudden, like, I love you. You're the sweetest thing. Boom! Gone. Done. Universe took them away. God took them away. Whatever you feel or worship or you don't, it doesn't matter. I hope we agree that we do have something in our lives that we love that may be small and that could fall into a grease trap and drown and pass away. So you're probably saying, well, Catie, I looked up this case and there was legislation by Chuck Schumer and, Tenitia was there and it was a big thing. Yes, guys, if you want to watch it, there's a 20-minute video. I'll link it down below if you want, of Chuck Schumer, of them saying thank you to Tenitia, and they really do give condolences. Now, the legislation is called Bryce's Law, and what it is, guys, is simply, I have it written down here, requires secure lids and annual inspections by the health department. Now, I looked up to see if Tenitia actually did lawsuits, and the only one that I saw, which, guys, if you even go on YouTube, even the video about the universal kid catcher that could save so many lives, okay? 45 views. I'm sorry, what? 45 views. And this video came out in 2019. That's how much people don't know about this. And when I researched, I found out there's no podcast about this. There's no podcast about Bryce. There's no podcast about the awareness of grease traps and if there's unsecured lids. I think the city should have been sued, or crap, even the technician who was the last one to mess with the lid. But no, Tim Hortons was sued. Yes, Tim Hortons had a lawsuit. Apparently had to pay like $8,000. I don't know what's true anymore, guys. I don't know. All I know is this seems pretty hush-hush. And I don't know why. How many more children or small animals have to die before something is changed? So, what I'm doing about this podcast is we see big money tycoons, which, first off, before I say anything, I know I mentioned Senator Chuck Schumer. Number one, I don't talk about politics. You will never know if I'm in the right or the left, because in the middle. Straight up. I know it doesn't make sense, but there you go. So I'm trying to give you, with every podcast that I do, is a non-biased opinion. Also, devil's advocate. This, though, I've only seen, it said like Democrat Chronicle or, just the news spots from Rochester, New York. But I have not seen this anywhere, and there are so many moms out there, and even YouTuber moms, they don't even know about this. I'm sure if like Bailey Sarian or Kendall Ray or any of the big ones, so many other people I watch, Mike the Chapter, oh my gosh, I am like spacing because I get upset, guys. I lose words. But I'm sure if they knew any of this, we all, guys, could make a change. Brandis, though, in this story, for me, is the real hero from TikTok to tell me about this story. Tenitia, baby, if you come by my podcast, I cannot imagine the pain that you have been through. I can't. And I'm so, so sorry. Little Bryce, I want him to always be remembered. I want him to always know that there are people out there that may not know you, but I love you, and I'm so, so sorry what you've been through. Please, think about big tycoons who just show off money being stupid. Why don't we raise funds to get every single grease trap covered with the universal kid catcher? Elon Musk, come on, man, you bought Twitter. Why can't we do that? You would save lives. Trump, you always talk about how much money you have. Bill Gates, my God, even who else is rich as mess? I mean, I love you, Adam Sandler. You're crazy, beyond wealthy, and you're one of my favorites. But I don't even know if you knew about this. Because I know in my heart that you seem like a really cool dude, and you would not you would try to do something. So yeah, a part of me thinks this was kind of hush-hush. Because seriously, if you Google, yes, there are newspapers and articles, and I went through them and I read through them, but there's no updates, no nothing. So let's get the child catcher universal in every single grease trap, please. Please. Can you imagine if an adult slipped and fell? His leg would be broken. Oh my God, his body. Oh my God, he could break his spine. Any horrific thing could happen. Now I send loving and positive energy to the loved ones involved in this case. For anyone who has been affected so much by this, I send you healing. Thank you. The point is, we got to make a change. And I know we all can make a change. We can change the world just by showing that we care. Please know that you are loved and you are cherished. And thank you so much for listening and watching. It was a very, very tough podcast. It had to be done. And it's weird to say promote myself, but if you're not following me, definitely hang out with me on TikTok. I'm definitely live a lot more. I have late night venting sessions where you can just come on my live. You can be, in the little box and tell your truth or just say what's on your mind, or you can just type it in the chat, because I feel if you vent and if you say how you feel, you will feel so much better. Because, baby, we cannot change the past. We cannot. But we can do better. We can do better. Remember, you are doing better than you think. Bye, guys.